What's up, guys? TG back here with another video doing another TV character rankings list, this time for the TV show Sons of Anarchy, one of my personal favorite TV shows of all time. I didn't watch it when it was airing, but I found it on Netflix. I binged through it. Loved it so much, so let's just jump right into it. I'm going to start with Jax, my personal favorite character on the show, so of course he's going to go in the S tier. I mean, main protagonist of the show. I know some people questioned his leadership role and the decisions he made, which makes sense, but I just can't hate Jax. Love him so much. Saddest death of the show, in my opinion. He's going to go in S. Next, I'm going to do Gemma, and I am going to put her in B. I really like Gemma for the most part. Sometimes she did some questionable things. Sometimes she was a little annoying and self-centered. She was such a badass, and I mean, probably the best female character on the show. Like I said, just because some of the things she did, I can't really put her in A or S, but B is good for her. Next, let's go with Chibs. Chibs is going to go into A. Oh, that's not Chibs. There we go. Chibs is going to go into A. Jax's right-hand man. Love him so much. He really was like a level-head member of the group, kept his cool, did what had to be done, but also was like loyal and tried to help as much as he could and tried to, understand other people's perspectives. Gotta love Chibs. Not good enough to get into the S tier, but he will go into A. Next, I'm going to go with Tig, if I could find him. He's going to go into A as well. He's kind of on the opposite side of Chibs. He's like Clay's right-hand man, for the most part, especially in the beginning, not, all the way through. Tig is such a funny character. He's really funny, badass, also really loyal. Did some questionable, things behind the club's back, especially killing Donna, but for the most part, really loyal. And he did it he didn't take the right approach when he killed Donna, but he thought he was killing Opie. Once again, not good, but he did it for a good reason, that he thought he was a rat. Didn't do it the right way, and he was wrong about it. But he was really loyal, did what need to be done, and a really funny character, so he's going to go in A. Next, we're going to go with Clay. I think this might be the first unpopular opinion. He's going in S. He was an asshole. He did a lot of bad things. He tried to have Tara killed. He beat the crap out of Gemma. He killed Piney. And there's probably some things, he got them into the drug business, which got a lot of other people killed. And there's probably some things that I'm not even thinking of, because I haven't seen the show in a while. But, Clay, especially in the beginning of the show, so good. Such a good character. Such a fun character to watch. No matter how bad he does, I can't dislike him. And especially his betrayal, Ron Pearlman did absolutely amazing. And I think that's one of the main reasons why he's going to stay in S. Just because of the way Ron Pearlman played him and how good he was, especially in the earlier seasons of the show before he fully turned on the club. He was really selfish. Everything he did was more for himself than the club. So not really a good person, not really a good member of the Sons. Good character, best betrayal on the show. He's gonna get S. Next is Juice, and it hurts me to do this, but Juice is going, if I could find him, I'm going to put him in C. Earlier seasons of the show, he would have been higher, B, maybe even A. I did really like him in the beginning, but he did turn on the club. He worked with the feds. He supplied them with coke. Helped cover up Tara's death. He did a lot of bad things that's going to get him into C. Unfortunately, I just think his character was poorly written towards the end of the show, and I think they made a lot of bad choices with his character. I think it was more like the writing than Juice himself, but I just can't put him any higher than C with some of the things he did. And honestly, when he turned on the club, once they even found out, there was no way they would have cared about his dad being black. He could have told them, and they would have been fine with it. Turning on the club can't go any higher than a C, as much as I would like to put him up there. Next, I'm going to do Tara, and she's going to go in C as well. At some points of the show, I really liked her, but other times she got really annoying, especially when she was just trying to get away from Jax and the kids, and when she was cooperating with the cops a little bit. Just got really annoying, got on my nerves towards the end. I still felt bad for her when she was killed. Don't think she deserved that. But she wasn't as good as Gemma, so she's going to get a C. Next, I'll do Bobby, and Bobby can go in A as well. Another guy that was a really good member of the Sons of Anarchy, really loyal. But he was, at the end of his time when he was killed, before that, when he was tortured, he didn't give up information. He was a loyal member of the Sons. Gotta put him in A. Don't like him as much as Jax or Clay, but he was absolutely amazing, right up there with Chibs and Tig. Next, I'm going to go with Opie, and he is going to be the final character that makes the S tier. I mean, how can you not love Opie? He is the only other character that could make an argument for being the best character in the show besides Jax and being the saddest death in the show. I know most fans think that Opie did have the saddest death in the show. His is my second saddest after Jax. Once again, really loyal. Most of the members of the club are really loyal. Really good character. Best friends with Jax. And when he sacrificed himself to save Chibs and Tig, he just went out like a hero and a badass. Next, I'm going to go with Unser. I have a list on my phone, so I know kind of where I want to rank him. I thought about it before making this video. That's why I'm going out of order of the pictures. And going in order of my list, Unser is going to go into C as well. Chief of police, paid off by the Sons, helped them a lot, did really good. Obviously he really let Gemma, did whatever he could to help her, helped them in a lot of ways, covered up a lot of stuff for them. Sometimes, he couldn't go all the way, sometimes he had to actually, be a good cop. And yeah, that's pretty much it. He never really did anything to make me dislike him. He just didn't, do anything to get him into Gemma's tier as a character, so he can go into C. Next is Happy. Where is he? Here he is. I kind of want to put him in A, but I'm going to put him in B. He was really a head soldier for the Sons. He did a lot of the killings. He did a lot of the brutal work. Not that any of them didn't; they all did as well. But I feel like Happy was more open and excited about it, and liked the brutal work more than the rest of them. He was a really funny character. I just don't think he got really as much screen time. Well, I know he didn't get as much screen time as them, and wasn't in that main part of the group as much for as long, which is why he's not gonna be up there with Tig, Chibs, or Bobby. But he can go into the B tier. I did really like him. Really funny. Really cool character. Next, I'm going to go with Wendy, and I honestly don't know where I want to put her. I'm gonna put her in D. Beginning of the show, she was terrible. I mean, that's pretty obvious. Terrible mom, drug addict, caused, able to be born prematurely. Then she left the show for a while, came back at the end, got better, definitely did a lot, took care of the kids at the end, which is why she's not an F. That's the reason why she's moving into the D tier. Next is Nero, right? I think that's his name. I'm going to be completely honest, I haven't watched the show in a while. I don't remember too much about his character. So I'm either going to put him in C or D, as I know he wasn't good enough of a character, or remember he wasn't good enough of a character to get into the B tier. That's for sure. I'm not sure if I like him as much as these three. I don't dislike him. So I'll put him at the C. He was a good ally of Jax and the Sons of Anarchy. He was really there for Gemma. And once again, he went with Wendy and his kid and Jax's kids at the end of the show. Loyal guy, good friend, good ally. Not good enough to get into the B tier, but don't dislike him, so he could go into C as well. Next up is Piney. Where is he? Here he is. He's going to go into A as well. He was a really lovable character. I was really shocked and upset when he got killed by Clay. Surprised that he's below Clay. Not saying on, who they were as people or who they were as Sons of Anarchy members, because obviously Piney was a lot more loyal to the Sons than Clay was. Just as a character, I really enjoy Clay, which is why he's up there. Piney, didn't like him as much as these three. Really good character though. Lovable. Once again, loyal. Tried to do right by Jax and Tara. Try to help them. And yeah, he was obviously against what Clay was doing once he caught on to it. And that's why he went. So he'll go into the A tier. Next up is Half Sack. I think if he was on the show longer, he could have made himself into the B tier, but he's going to go into C. I did really like him in the first 2 seasons, but he only lasted 2 seasons, wasn't really around long enough to get into the higher ranking tiers. I know he left prematurely because his actor wanted to, I forget his actor's name, but that was just a whole sad series of events with him, as I know he passed away shortly after and had some mental issues, if I remember correctly. But based off his character, like I said, I did really like him. Wasn't around long enough to get himself into these top tiers, so he can go into C. Went out like a champ too, trying to protect her and the kid. Next is Lila. I'm going to put her in D. I don't dislike her. She never did anything for me to dislike her, but she was obviously not around really ever that much. Wasn't like a super important character. She was really helpful with Opie and, you know, pulling him kind of up a little bit after Donna's death. But other than that, she just didn't really serve too much of a purpose, which is why I just can't put her on the same rankings as these characters here. But she is better than 1D, so I guess I'll give her that. Marcus Alvarez, yeah, here he is. He is going to go into C as well. Leader of the Mines. In the beginning of the show, you know, they were kind of enemies, and then as the show went on, they became really good allies. Really good character. Obviously, like, wasn't always in the show because he was the leader of a different group. But when he was on the show, when he did make an appearance, he was a really cool character. I liked him, so he can get into the C tier. Now I'm going to go with Chuck. He can also go into the C tier. He just kind of seemed like he was there for a little comedic relief. Really funny, had some really good moments. His fingers getting chopped off. Boiling, you know, the decapitated head in the stew with the cops there. Really funny. Love the dude. Obviously, just not good enough to get onto Gemma or Happy's level. Next, I'm going to go with David Hale. He can go into D as well. He didn't really do too much for me to dislike him. He took over after Unser stepped down. He was a little more strict, a little less friendly with the Sons, but he did help them sometimes when it came to going after the greater threat. If there was a group around or a person around that was worse than the Sons, then he did help them. But other than that, he would try to go after them. But he did the job the right way. He was never corrupt for the most part. And when he was, it usually was in benefit of the Sons. Just wasn't around long enough. I know he left too because his actor got a role on another show. But as a character, like I said, don't dislike him. But, you know, never really liked him that much. So he can go into D. His brother Jacob, however, can be the first character in the F tier. Corrupt, asshole, not a good person. Did everything for himself. Piece of shit. F. The next few characters are going to be going to F, such as Ethan Zobel's daughter, Polly, I want to say her name is. She helped kidnap Gemma when, you know, she got attacked and raped. Piece of shit character, piece of shit person. I don't really think there's much else to say about her. I think we could all agree. F. Ethan Zobel as well can go into F. Piece of shit. Scumbag, corrupt, main antagonist during that second season. Real asshole. I was so mad when he got away. I really wish they could have killed him. Unfortunately, he escaped. Got really lucky. He kind of employed and was the leader. I don't want to say the leader, but he kind of employed and worked with AJ Weston and his people, his little white supremacist group, and for that reason, he can go to F. White supremacist. He and his men raped Gemma and attacked her. Piece of shit person. Yeah, there's really nothing else much to say about him either. He going to F. What's his name again? Jimmy O'Fallon. I don't know why I forgot that for a second. He can go into D. He was also a piece of shit, really bad person. I just think he was a really good antagonist, a really good villain of the show. And I forget his actor's name, but he played him really well. Not that these people weren't acting good, but I don't know. I just like this character more. Thought he was a better antagonist, so he can go at the bottom of the D tier. Hope can go into F. He got Opie killed. He burned Tig's daughter alive. Piece of shit. And as for Agent Stahl, ready, let's do something here. Perfect. I think that's a good place for her, right? I don't think I ever hated a TV character more. Piece of shit. Don't really have to explain myself. Got Donna killed. Almost got Opie killed. Killed her girlfriend. Set Jax up. I mean, Jax outplayed her, but in her mind, she was setting him up basically to be killed. A lot of other shit that I'm probably not even thinking of. But she go all the way down here. I think all Sons of Anarchy fans agree she's the worst character in the show. And that is it for my tier ranking of the Sons of Anarchy. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like and subscribe. Let me know what you agree and disagree with, wherever you rank these characters. Wherever you put Clay, honestly, I think that's probably the most unpopular one, but wherever you put everyone else, let me know if it's different. And be on the lookout for more videos, as I will have more coming in the future.